Invite or welcome everybody. All right, welcome to the last session of the 2022 visioning workshop that we're going to do today. The first thing that I always do is I always say a prayer, because I know that I am not cool enough to know what you all need. And I know that there is someone who is, and we need the spirit to be able to do this. This is not about you setting your goals. This is about you connecting to the highest place that is in you for 2022 and really reconnecting to that truth that God is really out there hoping for your good. All right. So I'm going to offer a prayer and then we will get started. Our Father, who art in heaven, we come before thee so grateful that we are here. So grateful for technology and for associations with each other and with the inspiration that we had to meet together. I thank thee for each and every person and their heart's desire and that pull towards wanting more. Wilt thou please grant thy spirit? Please fill us up, Father. Please help us get clear and that our intentions will be powerful and set. Please help us hear thy voice and know what our next right step is to accomplish those things that you would love to bless us with. We say this very humbly. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
All right. So let me kind of tell you what and how the workshop is going to go down. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get really clear about, first of all, kind of what you would love overall for 2022, and then we're going to kind of narrow it down and find a focus. After that, we are going to verbally, emotionally vomit all the reasons why we can't have what we would love. And then once we get that all cleared out, we are going to kind of talk about how to shift those things into really powerful declarations. And then we're going to actually sit and envision and create from a place of connectedness to that vision. Okay, you'll understand in a minute. But first, I have got to create for you a Google Doc. So one of the things that I am doing with this is I don't want it in there. I am keeping track of the things that you are saying that you would love to have. First of all, one of the reasons is because when it's down on paper, it is a bit more concrete. And the other thing is I believe that I am a vision holder. I get to hold people's visions. And then as long as they would love to, we can talk back and forth and I can remind you of that vision and see how you're doing on that vision. And it's just a place where somebody has you and understands. I don't know about you, but I have set a lot of goals and not told anyone. And then they don't happen because I haven't told anybody. So nobody knows that there was even a thing that I was trying to do. And that was part of me not setting goals. So first of all, one of the things you need to know is we are not setting goals today. I don't believe in them. I believe that goal setting sets up expectations, and expectations equal failure, disappointment, and frustrations. Instead, we are going to set up visions and then lean into the anticipation of the reality, because that opens the door so that God has the ability to create for you and with you. And if with goals, I go, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. And I actually don't give the creator a whole lot of leeway because I say, this is what I have to do the thing. When I let go, I give him all sorts of freedom to bring to me the vision. Does that make sense for everybody? So what I want to know is overarching 2022. We're going to look back. We're going to be in December 29th of 2022, looking back and going, oh my gosh, that's what happened this year. So I want to know what your overall looking back is. Now, if you have a hard time, go 2021. Did that, as you're looking back today, did that go how you wanted? And if not, then let's create something else. What would you love in 2022? For me, now notice I'm using these words. I would love. The reason is we're not going to say want. The subconscious picks up the word want as not having. In fact, in the 1828 dictionary, that's what the word means. I am want for food. I am want for clothing. They are want for shelter. So want actually means lacking, not having. So there's an upgrade to that. You can say I desire, but sometimes that triggers a thing. I'm unworthy of my desire. And so what I find is if I say what I would love is, then it's just this excited creation thing. Okay. So what I would love in 2022, I would love to travel out of the country for the first time. I got a passport 3 months ago. And I'm so dang excited because I haven't had a passport. So I want to travel outside the country. I would love to. I just really, really, really love doing Gina boot camps. And so I would love to do more of those. And just Todd is like, yeah, she does. Yes, that's just fun for me to sit in that space and help people with this kind of thing. So I want to do more of that. I would love to hike Timpanogos. I haven't done that since I was a kid. So that's one of the things. I want to be more adventurous this year, outdoor adventurous. All right. So let's go with, if you can turn on your cameras, it's helpful to me in watching and guiding you. Diane, let's go with you first. What would you love in 2022?
Last year was the first year, in fact, a few months ago, that I traveled out of the country, and it was so awesome. I have a son that lives in the Netherlands, and I would love to go and see him again, but I would love to be able to take my kids and my husband with me. So, maybe a separate time, because oh my gosh, the Netherlands was the best and I loved it there. So I could go back a few times. I would love to create more powerful podcast episodes that help people, like, just really touch their hearts. I want to just be continually up-leveling my podcast. I would love to be able to at least triple, if not quadruple. I would love to make, like, in my own business next year, at least $60,000-$70,000, which is to me feels like a pretty high jump, but I would love that. And I would love to create more groups of people to come together. And I love group coaching and I love individual coaching. I would love to be fully booked with individual coaching, but group coaching as well. And love to create, to write a book. So I want to write a little mini book to help young adult age kids be able to transition from high school to either a mission or college.
Awesome. Cool, cool. All right, Sadie, what about you, my dear? It's good to see you. What would you love?
I would love a more peaceful home, a productive garden. That's one of my biggest desires this next year, is to have a beautiful garden. And I also desire to be a more present mom. To be able to, we've just had so much going on, and I think in 2020 we slowed down quite a bit, and then in 2021 it picked up, and we've just had so much going on that I feel like I desire to slow down and be more present.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. What about you, Jennifer? I saw your introduction on the messenger, but do you want to state what you would love in 2022?
Sure. So I would love to support my husband and see him heal so that he's able to go back to his full-time gardening job that he loves. I would love to spend more time watercoloring because I even put it on my to-do list and it gets put at the bottom of the to-do list.
Yeah,
But I need that time just to create.
yeah.
I would like to magnify, but also simplify my calling in my church as Relief Study President, be better at delegating. And then I would love to have the basement in my home tidied and dejunked. And then would love to continue with coaching and the EFT that I do part-time with a therapist friend here in the Valley that I really enjoy without having to maybe move into more of a full-time job. So
You want to stay there, stay in that space in part-time.
Yeah.
Good, 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 good. All right, Denise, what about you?
I don't know what I want.
Hey, good, because you're not supposed to know what you want. You're supposed to.
I know. So, hold on, we're getting a lot of feedback.
Okay. Okay, try to unmute again. So one of you's got to turn off your speaker or go into another room. There she goes. Okay, so as you do that, just listen up, Denise. You said, I don't know what you want. And I'm just going to say, good. Connect to what you would love. Because it's not about
Hold
wanting.
on.
Yep.
Sorry, we were having difficulty. All right, what I really need this year or want this year is to figure.
Nope. Not love.
What?
Not want. Not want. What would you love?
I would love to figure out, or I would love to get my body healed.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Love to have your body healed. You want health restored.
Yes, health restored.
I love it. Okay. Now I want you to see that I don't know what I want. When you said, oh, wait, what I would love is, you actually connected in when you use the word love.
Mhm.
Like what I would really love is, that's different than that feeling of want. I don't know what I want. Okay. So really watch that language because it's going to matter in 2022. That is one of your first upgrades, everybody, is to what would you love? And you can say it in all sorts of things. What I would love for dinner is, like, what am I going to make for myself for dinner? It just changes things, right? To actually speak love every single time you're desiring something. Erica, what about you?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I would love also to restore my health. I want to be free of pain and sleep comfortably through the night. I would love to have an energizing relationship with my husband and family members. I would love to be clear on what I want to do for coaching. And I would love to have a new home on property with a wonderful garden and be much more self-supporting.
I love that. So good. All right, Evie, we're going with the same, or are we doing more? Because Evie was with the sister.
My. Well, I would love a lot of things, but I'm just going to blurb them out,
Just blurb them out. Just get them out there.
blurb them out. So the session on Monday, I said I would love to be healthy in 2021, which I still argue
luck.
that would be great. But I also would love to start a business. And I'm not sure what kind that means, just something that's fulfilling and that would support me, not necessarily financially, but emotionally. and
So
give
it's
me,
like fulfilling to you.
yeah, something that would fulfill my desire to do something. But I feel like I'm lacking in that. I just kind of walk around the house and say, well, what should I do now?
Well, it's because you're a doer, Evie. You are a
I-
doer.
I am.
And when you don't have something to do, it's like, who am I? So connecting back into your doing actually is joy for you. I can see that. I can see why
Right.
you need something to do.
Right, I do. I need something to focus on besides, here I am, Lord, now what, you know?
Yeah.
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 So, and then the third thing, I would love to find new friends so that I can do things with.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah, so that's enough. I'm gonna stop there. I could do more, but that's not gonna happen 1 year.
Yes, awesome. We're just gonna let it sit right where it is. Wayne, it's good to see you. What would you love?
Can you hear me? My microphone's not been working.
Totally hear you.
Okay. Okay, the number one is optimal health. I've been battling some illness for a number of years now, and optimal health would be the key one.
Okay.
Okay, I want to return to Disney with David. We haven't
Mm,
been there in about 3 years. Okay, I want to go on a honeymoon. Just recently got married. I want to actually have a honeymoon in 2022.
hey.
5 boot camps this year. And here's my financial ones. I want to quadruple my income this year. And then I'm beginning a new partnership with a person, and I want to be able to reach 1,000 people through this new partnership. And that's it for now.
So good, Wayne. I love dreamers. This is so good. All right, Camille, what would you love? It's good to see you too.
Hi, I am literally just waking up.
That's okay.
I'm here because my husband woke me up and I'm like, what time is it? And when he told me it was 5 minutes to 9, I about freaked out.
I'm
I-
glad you're here, sleepy and all.
I love this paradigm of what we would love and not just what we would want. I don't know, were we supposed to write down specific categories or just go for
Well,
it?
right now, we're just speaking, and you can write it down if you want. I'm capturing it, but what would you love a year from now, Camille?
Oh, I wrote down lots of things I would love right now.
Okay,
But-
so it's looking back on 2022. What would you love
Okay.
for this year?
What I would love is to travel more with my husband, even if it's just short little jaunts here and there. I would love to do more creating, more, and specifically more composing and arranging my music. I would love to mentor more homeschool youth and moms. I would love to get in a new home and have a garden. I would love to beef up my food storage and other preparedness things. I would love to have a more fulfilling and romantic relationship with my husband and a healthier relationship with my youngest daughter. And I would love to start a business that's connected to my passions. Because that one I've looked at for a long time and I haven't found what works, but that's what I would love to do.
What is your passion connected to your business? Or you want to start a business connected to your passion? What's the passion?
Well, I have lots of passions.
Okay, so a passion connected to a passion, because you said connected to my passion, and I was waiting to hear what that passion was.
My passions are teaching, mentoring. My passions are music, anything music, writing, reading. One of my passions is just learning.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, thank you. All right, Colin, what about you? What would you love?
I was trying to write stuff down as I was listening to everybody else, but first one is I'm retiring this year or this next year. So I would love to build my forever home, as they call it on HGTV, or my dream home.
Mhm.
I would love to find a new career that I will be passionate about and be able to enjoy for years. Because I've been doing this for over 30 years and it's time to do something else.
Yep.
And I would love to go on some sort of family adventure to celebrate my retirement. That's all I got so far.
You hear that last one and how much there's connection to that? Like there was a change in it before. It was like, I love this, I love this. And then it was, I would love a family adventure. And I could feel the passion of that one. That one, there's some energy behind that love right there. That's exciting. All right, Tana, what about you?
So this one's hard for me because I have a lot of things that are already changing. And so I'm already overwhelmed.
So we're gonna shake off your overwhelm. Go like this, Tana. I want you to actually move your body, shake off overwhelm, because this can be playful. Now, if play freaks you out, that's not a good word. It can be lighthearted. You're extremely responsible, my dear.
Yes.
And so being able to play is an energy that isn't comfortable in you, right? So overwhelm is the comfort zone. So I can't have anything unless I'm very responsible and overwhelmed with it. It's kind of how you operate. So take a deep breath and switch into something else and go, you know what? I'm just bibbity bobbity boo. What would I love? You don't even have to do anything about it at this point. Just what would you love?
My own home.
I love that. Yep.
And of course, Zach and I would love to go out of the country. Our 20th will be coming up soon. And so that's a big thing for us right now, but the kids are at weird ages. So we're not sure if we can leave them.
We're not gonna speak that yet. I'm gonna speak all the reasons why you can't. But right now, what I heard you say is you would love to go out of the country for your 20th anniversary. Keep going. All the things you would love.
And then really to travel with my kids. They've been talking about like a beach trip, or, I have one graduating this year. So in June, he will be out of the house pretty much if his plans go according to plan. So I would love to do more with him before he leaves.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I heard you. Okay, good. Jimmy, what about you?
I would love vibrant health this year.
Oh, I love that.
And consistent income.
Yeah, it's dependable, just flows. You just know it's always on its way, just coming in, flows easily, all that good stuff. Cool. Michaela, what about you?
Oh, sorry, my camera is not working, or I would turn it on, but it's.
Yeah, I saw that. That's okay. That's okay. Tell me what you would love, Michaela.
I would love to be more on task with my schoolwork. I have a habit of procrastinating, and I would love to break that this year. And
Okay,
then I would
so hold on. What I heard you say was I would love to make myself do my schoolwork. So can we switch that into an actual love? I would love to have schoolwork be fun and easy. Or I would love to be motivated.
I would love to be motivated.
You'd love to be motivated in your schoolwork.
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay, what else?
And then I would just also love to be more present with my family and my friends.
Cool. All right, Chantel, what about you?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
It's been a minute.
Good morning.
I've been staying up late playing games at grandma's, so I'm like in her laundry room because everyone's just starting to wake up. So I've been listening to people talk, and there's been so many changes since I just started working with you in the past year and a half. And so even when you posted this, I was like, I don't know what I want. I just barely finished the big, huge thing I didn't think I could do. And I haven't even started to think about what is next, because I finished my degree in November just before Thanksgiving, and it was a wild ride. And so like literally the whole month from Thanksgiving on, I've been like, I don't even know what's next.
That's called the exhale. You took a moment to go,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's appropriate to do the exhale after a big push. That's all right. So now, what would you love for 2022?
Well, and it's funny, I actually had a big heart-to-heart with my husband about it, because I would love to show up for myself, like physically, like taking care of myself, taking time when I need time, you know, and in the same regards, I would love to show up for my family. I've got a 12-year-old who's becoming a teenager, and the teenage years are starting to show. An 8-year-old that's just starting to grasp her reading, a 4-year-old that needs me, an emotional 11-year-old.
You want to be able to show up for your family and be present with their needs.
Yeah,
right?
and without resentment, because I know in the past I've felt burdened by having to. I don't know how.
Yep, I get it. I get it. And the key to this is that as you show up fully for yourself, you have the ability to show up fully for them. Because right now the resentment is they're robbing you of yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And so that key to just without guilt, just show up for yourself without guilt. That would be fun, right?
Yeah.
And motivated and craving it and all the good stuff. Okay. All right. Hey, what would you love? What a great group. Hey, Raymond, what would you love?
So I'm driving right now. So I'm hoping that my internet will work. I also have my 17-year-old with me, and she's going to play along too.
Okay.
So what I would love is I would love to help my husband create his workshop so that he could feel supported and love creating the money that he makes. I would love to be able to define myself so that when I'm speaking to others, I can explain who I am and what I do and let it come naturally and flow easily for me, and in an exciting way that others are drawn to what I do. I would love Malia, that's my daughter who's with me. She has this dream to go temple hopping and go to all the temples before she graduates or after she graduates, before she goes on her mission. And I would love to fulfill that dream.
Cool. All right, I got you. Malia, are you going to play along? Yeah. What would you love, Malia?
Louder into the mic.
I had a couple and then I lost. Well, I'm starting math next semester, so I would love to not have it difficult for me.
Love to what? Not have what?
Be so difficult.
Oh, so instead of love to not be difficult, we're going to speak, I would love it to be easy. Right?
Yep.
You would not just be easy, like you would love to just comprehend and get it. Okay, what else, Malia?
I would love to reflect deeper on myself and understand who I am.
So have a better sense of self by the end of 2022. Is that right? Good. Anything else?
Friends that support me.
Oh, good. Friends that support you. That's an important one. Okay, Melissa, what would you love, my dear? You were here on Monday. Has it changed? Has it expanded? What would you love?
Oh, I've been struggling to know what I would love. Sorry for that. It's fine. Yeah, I've been struggling to know what I would love. There are a lot of things that I would love to not have to deal with.
Okay. So if you're not dealing with it, what does it look like? So let's do that. I don't want to have to. There's an opposite in that. I would love it to be like this.
I would love to be excited about something. I don't even know what that something is, but right now I'm having a hard time being excited about anything.
And right now, there's a couple things that are pulling on that. So I hear you and I understand the why. So there's grief that's going on and there's pregnancy that's going on. And there's a big dose of I don't want us when we're in grief and pregnancy at the same time. Right. So I would love to be excited and motivated towards something. And you know what? In other times in your life, that might not seem like a big deal or a big vision, but because of what you're experiencing right now, that's a big deal. To just say, I would love to be excited. What that means is I'm past the grief process and I'm learning to live in this other way. And I'm also in a place of excitement about this baby and all of that stuff, right? So this is a big deal. I would love to be excited about something. That's enough for you. That's enough. Ashley, good morning, my dear. We're stating the 2022 stuff. You were here yesterday. Do you want to expand on that? Is there something else you came up with? Or are we just continuing the workshop?
I think just continuing, like the trusting God got more clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I just want to have a clear vision of who he really is and to let go of my false beliefs about.
Ooh, I love that.
About him. That probably came from my own parents. I'm not sure.
I would love to say this, Ashley, that having just a very personal, powerful, trusting relationship with him.
Yeah,
right?
That's beautiful. I love
Just,
it.
Yeah. Okay. Now I have all this down. This is so good. I'm going to read it really quickly. When I get done, if yours isn't what you said, please stop me. This is what I've got. Diane would love to create more powerful podcast episodes. She would love to have about 60 to 70,000. That's going to like double her income. Create more groups that she can coach and teach. Be fully booked with group and individual coaching and write a book for young adults. Sadie wants a more peaceful home, a productive garden, and being a really present mom for her kids. Jennifer wants to support her husband in his healing, take some time for her to watercolor and create, and simplify her calling by delegating. She would love that basement dejunked and be able to coach part-time and do her EFT with clinician, sounds like. Okay, Denise, health restored. End of story. We want health restored. Good. Erica, health restored, doesn't want to have all the pain, wants to sleep comfortably, having an energized husband with her family, or energized relationship with her husband and family members, get clear with what coaching looks like, and have a new home on a property with a garden that's really self-supporting. Evie wants to have her health restored, figure out all of that, and start a business that is fulfilling. So she feels like she's impactful and on purpose and has a reason to occupy space on the planet, right?
Yep.
Yep, that's it. Okay. Wayne wants to have optimal health, return to Disney with David, go on a honeymoon, do 5 Genius Boot camps this year and quadruple his income. And then in this new partnership, be able to reach 1,000 people and have impact on them. Camille would love to travel with her husband and create and enjoy that creation of composing and arranging her music. She would love to do some more mentoring with homeschool youth and have a new home with a garden and food storage. And then have that fulfilling romantic relationship with her husband, like reignite that. Start a business that's connected to one of her passions that feels really fulfilling. Colin wants to build a forever home, have a new career that he's really passionate about and fulfilled for years, go on a family adventure to celebrate his retirement. Tana wants to have her own home, travel out of the country and travel with her kids. Jimmy would love vibrant health and consistent income. Michaela would love to be motivated in her schoolwork, so it's a delight to her, and be more present with her family and her friends. Chantel wants to show up for herself physically and emotionally, and taking the time when she needs, and then show up for her family and be present without resentment about all the needs of those kids. Kay wants to help her husband create the workshop so that he feels really supportive in that level of creativity, and find herself and her groove so that she can just really speak easily about what she's doing in a way that excites people and draws people to her. And wants to go on temple hopping trips with Malia. Malia would love
one more thing.
Yeah.
I would love to feel productive in my home.
Love to feel productive in the home. I love it. Malia would love to just get math, like easily get math. Like the brain opens up and she starts understanding things. She wants to understand who she is and then get some friends around her that really support her. Melissa would love to be excited about something. And Ashley wants to find that trusting relationship that's clear and easy between her and God. Are we good? Everybody got that? Okay. Next step, you're going to get out a piece of paper. You are going to have about 10 minutes, and you're going to throw up all the reasons why you can't. Every reason why this is not possible. You shouldn't have it. Things are in the way. Here it is. Okay. So I've done this each time. I have found that when I'm resistant to what I would love, like the impossibilities show up, and I'm trying to envision what I love, but I keep getting all of the yuck, it's because I've got to clear out my yuck. So in June, not due to my choice, I was forced to move. Stupid things with landlords, and I had to move. I did not want to move. I have moved every 3 years for 15 years. And I'm kind of tired of it. I'm really good at it, but I'm tired of it. And this one was not by choice again. And I was mad. And when you're mad, creating what you want is really hard because I don't want to create it all. I just want to stay where I'm at. Right? So I decided that I was going to write some things down about what I would love, and I couldn't. I was so blocked. So what I did is this. First of all, I started my entry at what I would super love to receive. So I have learned that there's a difference in getting and receiving. What I would love to receive. We'll talk about that another time. Anyway, I dated this June 6, 2021. I found out this week I have to move. I'm going to dump all the negative things about this so I can make space for some positive. Ready? This is called the throw up. I don't want to exert any mental, emotional, physical, or financial effort to move. I hate feeling displaced. I'm tired of finding a place in a new social circle. I love walking up Airport Hill in the morning, and I want to stay close to it. I finally have a friend who will walk with me. Tom and I approach things really differently, and it's difficult to stay positive when he is so stressed and doubtful. The market isn't optimal for buying or renting right now. We're not financially prepared to buy, and I want to build our dream home. It's distracting me from everything I'm doing in business. There is no good space in any kind of architecture right now for my piano. Tom wants to keep it small so that there are no grandkids around. I want to have it big, and Tom is so stressed that he's not going to help me with any of this. I threw up. That's what I want you to do. You're going to go back into what you said. So Diane, you're going to actually unload all the reasons why it's not possible to do the podcast the way you want to. Okay, we're going to unload why math isn't going to work. And oh, Michaela found a camera. Look at Michaela. It's so good to see you. And Michaela is going to dump all the reasons why she hates schoolwork and why it's impossible to actually love it. Does everybody understand what we're doing? Okay, so you have about 10 minutes, and I want you to really just let loose anything that comes to mind. Don't worry about grammar, punctuation. There's no right or wrong. Don't judge it. Just observe it. Get it out so that you can observe it. Okay, ready, set, go. I will be back in just a minute. So just another 2 minutes or less. Okay. So I would love to debrief that for just a second. What did you just experience or discover? in allowing yourself to look at all the yuck and the stupid and all the reasons that are getting in the way. What did you just experience? Go ahead, Diane.
So that mostly after I wrote everything down, I categorized. I noticed there were similar themes. So I categorized them into 4 different categories. That way I could organize them out and then write what I wanted to believe instead. But yeah, it was interesting that they all kind of seem to be a lack of something, you know, these 4 different areas for me.
Good. Anybody else? What did you experience?
It made me feel bad.
Good.
It made me feel like I can't do this.
You can't do anything.
Yeah.
So you're connected to the belief of those statements as true. Is that correct?
And as I thought of one, another one come, it's like, so it just kind of felt like I was digging this hole deeper and deeper to not be able to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I have experienced that same thing. I will tell you, it's probably time for you to take Joyful Heart Mastery, because we learn what to do with that and how to observe without it taking us down into the hole. To just start to go, oh, I know what that is. I'm aware now of why I do that and how that happens. And what happens is what you're trying to do, what all of us are trying to do right now is we're trying to reach into the joy of creation. And there are things that make it just leak out like little holes in a balloon, you know, the air just kind of leaks out of it. And in Joyful Heart Mastery, we learn how to plug the holes a little bit. So I hear you that ended up being a very yucky experience. And I just want to honor you and say thank you for going there anyway. Because we can switch this around and we can hit the possibilities, right? But being able to give voice to all the reasons why you can't, and then get a little, one thing I know about you is that when you're on, you're feisty. I've seen you be feisty. And so to turn these things on and look and go, okay, where's my feisty in this? Is that what I would love? Would I love to not do all of this? Because you can choose that.
Right.
You can choose to leave that. Or you can get a little feisty. Yeah. You can go, I'm going to actually fight my way out of the pit because I actually don't like the pit.
Yep.
And I get to have a choice in what that looks like for me.
Yep.
Right. So it's just getting feisty. You just need to get your feisty back. You know. All right. Anybody else? What did you experience? Go ahead, Camille.
Well, mostly I just noticed that most of these are connected with fears, and in particular, most often, fear of just not being enough or just inadequacy in some way.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to speak to that a little bit, is that the fear of inadequacy is true. You're inadequate by yourself, all alone, trying to work this out, to do all the things necessary so that then God can bless you. You are inadequate in that. When we go, hey, God, I would really love some support and help in these desires, and I'm so excited to create with you, then there's no inadequacy because there's really nothing that he can't do. The problem comes in this whispering from the adversary that says, yeah, but what if it's not what God wants for you? I will tell you, this whole idea of asking amiss, I have done a whole research study on this thing. What we do is we think that we can read God's mind for what he wants. Because if we go, I ask not amiss, that means I got it. I nailed it. I know exactly what Heavenly Father wants for me. And I'm just going to stay in that zone. Guys, his brain is too vast. His understanding is too big. His ways of getting you into joy is so big. What he wants is for you to be joyful. And I've got a question. Were any of these desires, these things you would love, anything there off the covenant path? Is there anything there that is something that's against any kind of gospel standard whatsoever? Then you haven't asked amiss. And what I've discovered is asking amiss is actually asking with something missing. So we're going to learn what that something missing is so that we can have the full experience of asking with faith unwavering. That's a fun experience. When you get to ask with absolute clarity and faith and excitement of the partnership that you're going to head into. What I would love for you to do next is to just quickly look at your list and go, okay, this is a huge elephant. This is 12 months, and we got to organize this somehow so that I can eat this elephant. So between now and March, what is possible for you to do that would move the needle on the thing? So for instance, if it were last year, my moving the needle would be get the dang passport. Between now and this, that I would, my thing is getting the passport. Okay, so I want you to look at one of these things that you've pulled out and say, between now and March, what is actually a feasible thing for me to do? Tangible, feasible, I can do this. So give me a thumbs up when you got that. Thumbs up. Okay, good. Okay, we have that. All right. Now, this is something I didn't do with the last group, but I would love somebody to speak one of their biggest negatives that showed up. So everyone, you tell me, what's one that just really zinged you with all sorts of feeling?
Fear.
Okay, well, what's the statement? What's the sentence?
Fear of the unknown.
I am afraid of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it really fear? Or is it just uncomfortable because you don't know what's next?
Might be both.
Do you like adventure?
I do.
Well, maybe this could be, I love the adventure of the unknown. Because I don't know about you, but adventure always is something that I don't know yet because I'm exploring. And so instead of I'm afraid because I don't know, it's I love the adventure of the unknown. That's a statement that you can now shift into your subconscious mind for that power to actually happen. I love the adventure of the unknown. Now, does that change anything as you look towards trying to find a business?
Oh, yeah.
You, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Change the mindset.
Right. So one of the things to do, and one of the reasons why it's important to do the throw up, is because within it, you can see what you actually desire. Within it is the new declaration of the positive thing. So if you don't actually go down into that hole and look at it, you can't know what statements will pull you out. So that's why it's really important to go into. Anybody else have a really good big negative that they would love? Go ahead, Tana.
So I have like two big negatives.
But
I don't know. So one, my husband, after Genius Boot Camp, did a bunch of things. And number one is he quit his job.
It made me so happy to hear that he quit his job. Anyway.
Me too, because he in himself is happier. But now the steps that I had started taking for us to be financially independent and stable enough to put a down payment on a home and things like that are up in the air, because I don't know where he's going to be working, and I don't know what he's going to be doing, and I don't know what our income is. And then my other big thing is my mom and her health. And like, I know I need to leave her, but it's hard because we've been supporting her for 5 years.
Right. So I hear the fear. If you could have it any way you would love, Tana, what would it be? Like with your mom. If you could have it your way and mom agreed.
I would love for her to be healthy and me to walk out the door and know she's fine.
Okay. So.
But I don't know that.
Okay. And you can't make her be healthy, right?
Nope.
You can be really confident that you have done all that is necessary for your mom and are able to live your life without guilt. I love my mom and I live my life without guilt. So because you're attaching the leaving her as I'm not loving her. Okay. So if you put this statement, I love my mom and I take care of my family's needs without guilt. Make sure there's an and there. Because right now you've got an either or. It's either your mom or it's your family. So put the and. Okay, and the down payment thing. There's a receiving thing with your husband and his job. I love, or I choose, or I accept my husband's choice in careers. We are so blessed financially for his choice to follow his passion. Right? He was so beaten down, Tana. I'm so excited that he is not there anymore. Like, I am so
You
excited.
and me both.
Well, the excitement is the curiosity. By the way, one of the places to stay out of fear is to stay in wonder and curiosity. I'm so curious as to what job is going to replace that hole that he created. Like, I'm so curious about what the benefit of this is. If you go, I'm so afraid of the effects that he quit his job, welcome to something you don't want. That I'm so curious about all the blessings that this is going to bring, you are now open to all possibility. And you can also say, I receive easily the money that is needed for our down payment. I receive with grace and ease money that's there for a down payment. So you don't have to be attached to struggle. I have a friend, Jimmy and Kay. Oh, it was Kay. Kay Raymond put a thing out on Facebook. She broke up with hard. She goes, I'm just putting this out there. I am breaking up with hard. I can do hard. I know how to do hard. I am choosing not to do hard. I am going to do big with grace and ease. Okay. So every once in a while, she'll do something and hard shows back up and it's like he's texting her and he's trying to draw her into the relationship again. And I'm like, you know, we're answering the text. Do you want to go back to hard, or would you love to flirt with easy? Like, why don't you play around and see if easy's like, you know, flirt with it. See if you want that relationship. And it's so much fun to go, oh my gosh, I'm totally doing hard again. Hard things exist in this world. And then we decide that we must make it harder to prove that we have enough grit to get through hard, to prove the fact that we can be awesome for God. But what if he's like, you know, the test isn't actually how much crap you can take and stay faithful. The test might be, how long do you want to flirt with hard? Because it's easy on my side. Like, my yoke is easy. My burden is light. I don't know about you, but I'm picturing Zion as pretty dang easy. So if that's the destiny, then we might want to get comfortable with easy. Faithful and easy, letting things flow, receiving the blessings instead of batting them away because, no, it's got to be hard. I'm supposed to struggle. That's why I prove my worth to you, Lord. What if it's not like that? So Tana, I receive money with grace and ease. Break up with hard, girl. He's not a good partner. like what I saw and I witnessed from your husband after boot camp is he broke up with hard, babe. He just broke up.
He did, but he's flirted back with him a couple times.
No, because hard tries to draw you in. Hard misses you. And it's like, you know, let's just do what we did. I mean, it was a good thing. Remember the good times of it being hard and you feeling really prideful that you could get things done? Like, you know, I flirted with hard. I didn't flirt with hard. I lived with hard in relationship. When JJ and I were first married, we were at BYU and he went on an internship. I had 2 babies, age 1 and 2, because they are 11 months apart. And I had a car that I had to park on a hill because I had to put my foot outside the car and Fred Flintstone myself enough speed so I could pop that clutch and go wherever I needed to go because it wouldn't start on its own. And I wore a badge of honor. No one struggles like I do. I've got 2 babies in a 2-door hatchback, and I know how to pop a clutch. And I can do this when my husband's not even around. My superwoman cape was so powerful. Do you know what never crossed my mind ever? Ever.
Why?
Hey, honey, before you go for 3 months and leave me home alone with 2 babies and a full-time job, what do you think we check into this car and see if we can figure out how to get it to start without you having to push it for me? Like, never even crossed my mind because I was dating hard. And yes, we were struggling little BYU people and we didn't have a lot of money. We did have family that could chip in and help make sure that I had a car and a vehicle that was working while I was home alone with 2 kids. Right? I know that we could have asked. We didn't ask because why? Because we're supposed to be self-sufficient. And hard is how you do it. And so I just want to offer to you as we look at these things, let's break up with hard today. Let's all break up with hard. I would love it with grace and ease. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you're going to take those. Anybody else want to look at one of their statements and kind of flip this around on its head?
I would.
Okay.
I would, because Mark is flirting with me again and I don't like him.
Okay, Hart's flirting with you again.
Hart is flirting with me, and I'm needing some help kicking his butt.
Are you picking up the phone and talking to him? Have you set an appointment and a date with him?
I am, and I'm saying, hey, help me.
Okay. The rescue squad, the girlfriend's going in and getting you away from hard. Go. What's your hard?
So my husband, anytime we try and do something together, like, I don't know, clean a garage, into argument, and we don't play well. And so this thing is going on in my head. He doesn't want my help. He doesn't want my support. And really, I know that he does need my support. And it is a way that I can support him. But I have to convince him that we can do this together. And I don't know.
Are you ready, Kay? I got it.
Okay.
I love my support received.
Ooh, I love
I love my support received. I love witnessing my support received.
I love witnessing my support received.
I love experiencing my support received.
Love experiencing my support received.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys see how we took exactly what the frustration was and we just flipped it? And can you feel it? Does that resonate with you, Kay?
So much.
So much.
All of a sudden, the anxiety of having to convince him just deflated, and it just feels better.
So we don't have time today to do a declarations workshop for all of you, but after doing these 3 workshops, I'm realizing that that is something that needs to be done. So hold on to these negatives, and I will post an event where we actually just sit and we write all of those positive declarations that are specifically for you. It's different than affirmations. Affirmations are, the memes and the good feely stuff, and you go, ooh, that feels really good. I like that, but you don't actually own it. What just happened with Kay, and why I said, did it hit you, is she just owned that. She's skilled enough at this. I know that she's going to now be repeating that on a regular basis until she feels it. Like, I love to experience my support received. And she's going to find out that no matter where she is, the support that she's offering is actually received. That's fun, right? Sucks when people you're trying to support bat you away and don't allow it. So we're going to break up with hard, and we're going to flirt with a really nice gentleman of received support. It's going to be so good. And then this garage is going to be done with grace and ease. And it's going to be like one of those moments they're like, we did it. We did partnership. Did you see that we didn't fight? This was so good. Right? That's going to be fun, Kay. That's going to be fun.
I look forward to jumping up and down and feeling that we did it.
Yeah, one of the things I love about Kay is Kay has the ability to celebrate. So whenever she does something like this, like the garage gets done, I get a Marco Polo of Kay doing a happy dance. She happy dances every time she succeeds in something. And it's just really fun because she's taught me how to happy dance now. And it just kind of grounds the fact that that was done. That dream, that vision is now true. I happy dance it into existence, right? It's really, really fun. All right, what I would love
to find is happy dancing in advance.
I know, happy dancing in advance is fun too, right? Okay, so what she's talking about here, and this is what I really want you to sit in, is the idea that we're shifting by visioning, we are shifting into anticipation instead of expectation. So expectation, like I said, breeds failure, resentment, inadequacy, not enough. Anticipation, however, brings us hope and allows God to bring things however we want. So I had a friend who I was working through some stuff, and she said, I was asking her to dream, and she said that she needed $5,000. And I go, why do you need the $5,000? And she goes, because I've got to bill a debt that I've got to pay. That's $5,000. And I go, well, why do you want to pay that debt? And she looks at me like, because that's what responsible people do. Like they pay debts. And I said, okay, but what's going to happen for you? What are you going to feel when you pay the debt? She goes, what? And I go, what are you going to feel? She goes, I don't know, like relieved. I go, okay, what else? And she goes, closure. This thing's been on my back forever. And I go, okay, so what you want is relief and closure, not $5,000. So are you willing to receive this according to God's will? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I go, well, what we interpret God's will is when we say this, according to your will always means I'll be okay if you don't help me, Lord. Like that's where our brain goes, right? It's all right. I'll still be faithful even if you don't support me in this. And I'll be okay if you don't give me what I've just asked you for. What if according to his will is not resigning your desire? What if I'll do it according to your will means in whatever way you would love to bring it to me? Because what if that debt is just excused and she never gets $5,000 to pay it? Is she willing to have it just excused and receive the blessing? Because he has all sorts of ways to bring to us what we would love. So according to his will, as we sit in anticipation, we hold the vision of belief, and then however he brings that to us, we get to participate. Now, that doesn't mean that you sit and you wait for the stork to drop money and whatever on your doorstep. What happens is you sit in anticipation, and then you're able to respond to whatever crazy thing shows up because it brings you to the next step of the realization of that blessing that you have asked him for. He desires to bless you. That is a truth. You are that you might have joy. Are you going to allow it? It's about allowing and receiving. Okay. So what you're going to do next is take your 3-month. This is what I can do in my next 3 months. You're going to take that. You're going to shut your eyes and you're going to envision it like here, like done, like Colin is on the adventure and the kids are so excited about it. And you're like, okay, where are we? You don't even have to see where you are. What I want you to do is feel what you feel. So on the back end of this, Denise's body is absolutely restored as she has health back. Like, do you remember when you had health? Do you remember when your head was clear? and when your body didn't ache and you could swing your leg up and over something without any pain? Like, do you remember that? I can't hear you.
Yep, I
do. Okay, so if you were to receive that again, like all of a sudden, so this happened to me because I had more weight than I needed. I had a lot of inflammation, a lot of yuck. It ended up being a hormone imbalance. And once I got those hormones balanced, weight dropped and all sorts of things happened. But I was at the park with my grandbaby and I was sitting on this bench and I was kind of straddling it. And one of the kids did something and I had to get over there really quick. And I went like this and went up and over and went, my leg just did that. Oh my gosh. It was so, the feeling of just being free in my body was so awesome, right? So I want you to envision, that was for me, health restored. I could swing my leg up and around and move quicker than the 2-year-old, right? I want to know what, we're going to sit for a minute. We're going to vision. I want you to connect to it already done. Like you're living in March, April 1st. What you just planned is done. What are you feeling about the fact that it's done? And I want you to capture the feelings, not the vision of everything. I want you to feel whatever that is. Okay. So there was one person that was talking about a house. They wanted the house. And the answer was she felt settled. Like she wasn't in limbo anymore. She just felt settled. Right. Michaela, feeling so smart, like motivated and all the homework is done. You're just feeling like confident and smart. Okay. Whatever that feeling is, you're going to go into that now. We've got about 3 minutes. I'd love you to shut your eyes.
And can I ask a question?
You can.
So if we're projecting like what we're going to be able to do within the next 3 months, you're asking us to envision then what we're going to feel at the end of 12 months. Is that right?
No, end of 3 months. We're going to go to the 3-month thing. 3 months.
Okay.
What you just did in your 3 months, what do you feel when that 3-month thing is accomplished?
Okay.
Right?
What if you don't know what like the next step is to do with something?
Okay, do you have your 3 months, what you're going to do in 3 months?
Well, no, I didn't. I mean, we only had like a couple minutes.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay, so I would love you to choose one of these things. You've got health restored. You've got pain-free and sleeping comfortably. You've got energized relationship with a husband. You're clear with coaching. So is there anything that you can accomplish within 3 months that moves the needle towards one of those things?
Okay.
Like what if you found the physician or the person who has the answer for your health? Like, what do you feel when you actually have found the one who has the answers? You may not have health restored yet, but you've got the answer as to what to do, and you know it. Like, what does that feel like? Okay, what is an energized relationship with your husband in the next 3 months? What is something that you've done? Like for me, I actually took Tom on a couples retreat. He doesn't do those kind of things, but last year I got him to say yes. And what I experienced on the back end of that, we haven't never been the same. We have been more energized and connected as a couple. I actually envisioned that connection before I ever asked him. Right? Does that help you at all, Erica?
Yes. I mean, so part of my issue is that everything seems to kind of have this cyclical cascading effect. So I'm thinking, well, what my husband and I really need is to be able to, you know, budget and manage money together and work on this together. But every time we sit and do this, you know, it ends up, we can't communicate or we don't follow through with what we say we're going to do.
I hear
and
you.
So
I hear you on this. Me and my husband trying to sit down and do a budget, like there was so much distrust between us and competition energy instead of cooperation and creativity, big time. So on this one, what I did is I envisioned me bringing my laptop to him that had the budget that was my business, not the family budget, because I couldn't even go into family, but I could bring business and say, hey, what do you think about this? I need another set of eyes on this. And I envisioned me feeling really peaceful and really trusting in that. I had never had that experience before, ever, Erica, when I've talked to money with any of my partners. Okay. But that's what I envisioned, is that I felt whole and peaceful and happy as I brought that to him. And so there's another step after this. So I just want you to connect with the feeling. In that vision for me, my feeling was I was safe. We're not writing out the whole thing. We're just finding the feeling. What would you love to feel? Okay. So take a minute. Let's connect in. Okay. So anybody need more time of connecting to a feeling? So I've got something that I'm very specifically creating right now. I am going up north to take Jaden to go see the musical Hamilton in Salt Lake City. I am so excited about that. There is some really bad weather that's going to show up. And so I can dread what that looks like to travel up. And then my whole experience is just anxiety the whole time. Or what I'm doing is, what does it look like as I'm walking out of the show? So that means it's already done. And I'm connected because we're going with some people. This is a really unique experience. This was a dream that I had. It's actually written down in here. This is my 100 desires list. I have a book, all the things I would love. And one of them says, I would love to take Jaden to go see Hamilton. I wrote this like 2 years ago. Okay. But it's better than I ever thought, because turns out my next door neighbor in my last house, her cousin plays Jean Lawrence in the touring company. And so I've met him, and he has special tickets for any performance. And she's been able to get us tickets. So we're all going up together as a group. And so as I'm sitting here, I could sit in all of the worry and the stress of how are we going to make this happen, and have anxiety lower, because Tom gets very anxious about weather. Or I could envision us being connected, me being really passionate. I'm a theater kind of person, so I love that. Giddy, actually, sitting in those seats, giddy for it to start, and being so fulfilled, and then connected again as we talk all about the show on the way out. We're getting a hotel, and so we'll be with all of our friends and just talking about how awesome that was, and I can't believe this. And I'm envisioning that. Okay. Now, what I just did is I took the emotions and I've created the story. So what I want you to do now is, with the emotions that you just came up with, what I would love for you to do is do a journal entry dated April 1st, 2022. You are, because we said this is between now and March, you are going to take one of those emotions and you're going to write a journal entry as though it's already happened, explaining why you feel that way. So for me, I feel so connected because I went to a show with people who love musical theater, right? And that the connection that they had to the guy who's on the stage, that is their friend and their cousin, made it just so much more special for me. And it was so much fun to watch Jaden sing every single word. And I felt connected to him. I felt connected to the guy on stage because I met him he came over to the house and we were just sitting around talking one day. So I know him. That's super fun. And so I'm going to take each one of these words. Why do I feel passionate? Why do I feel so giddy? Like, what made me feel so giddy? And I'm going to write as though giddiness is part of my journal entry. I was so giddy as I walked into the theater and I was handed the playbill. Like, this one is a dream come true. Does everybody understand? You're going to write what that emotion is, and you're going to describe how it showed up. Any questions on that? Oh, no? Okay, I'm going to turn on some music this time because we're going to ground this into your system. We didn't want to ground the negatives. That's why we didn't do music. But you have, let's see, we have about 10, 15 minutes to just explore every ounce of this. And if you kind of get done, you can go into another 3-month section and play around with that. Can everybody hear the music? Is it too loud? Is it good? So connect back into that emotion again.
And when we're writing this, we want to make sure that we're writing in past tense, right? Like it's already happened.
Yeah, that's why it's a journal entry. That's dated as though it's already happened. So for instance, let me share just really quickly what I've got here. Hold on, let me stop the music. And you can keep going. So I've got going to see Hamilton last night was so much better than I anticipated. There were so many wonderful things about the trip. Can't even read my writing. Oh, we left early on purpose and missed the bad weather on the road. Yeah, I don't have my glasses on, and so I don't need them when I write. I can just write things, so I can't read them. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. The HAP-B is a device that helps with anxiety. It sends out electromagnetic frequencies of things, and it actually helps calm things down. So I said the HAP-B really, really worked with Tom, and he stayed calm as we drove up. Lynn and the kids were so excited to see Uncle Tom. It was so much fun to have them see him again. It's been too long. At dinner, we laughed, we talked. I felt so included and accepted. I'm really grateful that we finally have a group of friends that we can go out to eat with. The food was delicious and the dessert was divine. It was even gluten-free for me. As I walked into the theater, I was buzzing with excitement. Everyone was. So do you see, I'm writing it as though I'm actually telling you about the event that's happened. That's how you need to write it. Does that help, Kay?
Yeah, I just wanted to
for other people.
Yes, well, yes, I wanted to clarify for Malia just to make sure that I was giving her correct information.
Yep, you're dreaming, and you're putting yourself in the dream of all the things that are so good about this. Anybody else need clarification? We've got another few minutes that we can spend writing. I'm not done with mine, even though I can't see it. Eventually I will see it because I'll put glasses on to read it.
Okay, Anne.
Yeah.
So I'm writing, the first one I did, I feel good about, but I'm working on a second one, which is the health piece. And, you know, when you mentioned finding a doctor, that just was really triggering because I feel like financially I've exhausted that option. And so, but it seems too general for me to write down that in 3 months, I figure out why I still feel like crap.
Yep. So what we know, because you've done and been on Genius Bootcamp, the solution to every problem is just one idea away. Right? So is it possible that between now and March, that you could meet somebody, you could read something, you could have a conversation and have that spark idea that leads you to the answers that you're seeking? Is that possible?
Sure.
Then you sit in the possibility of it. Would you love, Erica, to have some kind of answer in 3 months?
Yes.
Okay, so
preferably
if you had,
sooner.
preferably sooner, right? Yes, and you can write that sooner, but let's just put it in 3 months, because what we're doing is we're giving God some time and some space for you to actually put this down into the subconscious. What's happening right now is you've got a program that says, this is what life is, deal with it. You're not going to be healthy. You've got an X program running that said the answers aren't out there. What you just spoke to me was a program. I've exhausted all avenues. That's a program. Because is it possible that an answer is out there? Then this program is not absolute truth. So a Y is very open. So when we do Genius Bootcamp, we talk about the X and the Y. The X is the running program and the Y is the new idea. Very open and receiving, a Y is. right? So if the X is not the absolute truth, and that's just a program, then what we need to do is create the vision of the answer being in your space. And we put it enough in your brain that the possibility is there's an answer. I don't know where it is, but I'm not even sinking down to the hole. I'm curious and wondering where it's going to be. Where do I find it? I'm so excited to have my answer. And we have enough time that actually sinks down into your heart of belief, so that when that person shows up, your body or the answer shows up, your body is vibrating with the absolute truth. If you have exhausted all programs, then it really doesn't make sense to do any kind of research to find any answer. And so the hopelessness is born out of the X program.
Well,
So
and then there's like always a second part to that where I'm like, okay, so if I find the answer and say I have the money or it doesn't cost any money or whatever, in the back of my mind, I'm always like, yeah, but what if it's still mold? What if you still have mold in your house? Then you can't sell your house. You can't get out of your house. You don't have the money to investigate it. Like, it's just kind of this.
Okay, so that
cascading
is true if you decide to believe it. If you go, Heavenly Father actually wants me to be healthy, and I'm excited for that, then all things that are necessary for that to happen will be taken care of. Now, here's the thing, honor the fact that you've been through something really traumatic with all the mold. That's a big deal, and it's real. But it doesn't have to be your future. You can find the answer, the technology, the something, and then you can actually envision you receiving the treatments without panic of money. What does it feel like when the treatments are there and you're regaining your health, and the awe and the wonder and the excitement that it's returning? Like, that's really, really fun. I hate feeling sluggish and brain fog and not sleeping because I'm waking up 17 times a night to go to the bathroom and craving sugar and then feeling more crappy and falling asleep the minute that I sit down because I'm so exhausted and trying to run a business. And I could say, the truth is, I'm just getting old. This is what my mother did, so this is what is. And instead, I sat in sacrament meeting and I was asking for help. What I actually asked for is, can you help me not want to crave chocolate? Like, it's not about me doing, can you just help me not even want it, right? And I was sitting there and I went, when is the last time I actually felt healthy? Like, I've had so much brain fog for so long, I don't even remember what it is to not struggle to read a line without my brain going everywhere. And then I went, oh, I remember. And I put myself where I was. Like, I remember sitting and reading to the point that the kids are like, Mom, are you actually going to make us some breakfast today? Because I was so focused, like my brain could process stuff and I was so focused. And then I thought about, when I could move around and when I ran at the gym and that kind of stuff. And I went, I would love this, Lord, this right here. And I connected it in a way of hope instead of desperation, and I will never have it. I just let myself feel what it feels like again to be super healthy. Okay, that other stuff is real. And Erica, both channels are always playing. The impossibility is always around, and the possibility is always around. And so the work, by the way, is not in the doing. The work is in the sitting in the vibrational energy of what you would love long enough that your subconscious starts making it come true. But you've got to have it here first for it to manifest out there, right? We might just need to do another Genius Boot Camp, Erica Glancy. Get you back into that zone again. right? It's like we know these principles, but actually applying them in our life is different than teaching them. We have to actually try to do it, right? Denise, who's going to get her health back? Yep. I have an answer for those, for some of you, because I found this woman who knows how to balance hormones, and it took away all of my inflammation and all of my brain fog and all of the other things that I thought were all separate. It was actually hormonal. And I didn't realize how much hormones played into what was going on in my body. And it was actually just wonderful, and it was helpful. So I happened upon it. She'd been in my space, by the way, for 3 years while I felt sick. And then I finally connected to what I would love. And then I had a conversation, and the spirit went, that's what you do. And so I went into that space, and within 3 weeks, I was better. I was better. So I don't know that that's your case, Erica. I'm not saying that the hormone is your thing, but I would love for you to sit in the frequency of possibility. Right? All right. Those of you who are done, what did you experience as you wrote this? What did you connect with? Jennifer, I'd love to hear from you. What did you experience in that? Jennifer still here? Colin, what about you? What did you experience as you wrote?
Well, when we were talking about it, I felt the excitement right away. I mean, there's without going into what I'm doing, but it has to do with the house. I have an opportunity to, while I'm still in the military, to go build my house and get paid for it because I have so much leave and other benefits that I can use to do it. But all the stuff leading up to it is what I wrote on my bad paper, because I do not like doing the research for the cost estimate. I do not like doing the paperwork and submitting all that stuff to the city and dealing with all that stuff. And I know I'm capable of doing it. And it's not really fear, it's just dread.
Right. So what if you have somebody who would love to do that for you?
Yeah, well, my wife, Denise, is sitting right there. And as we were listening to everybody else and had our little discussions, she's like, well, that's the stuff I like doing. I'm like, sold.
Like she's sitting in the room. The answer's in the room.
Literally sitting in the room. And so I wrote down how excited it's going to be on April 1st to be looking at my lot and knowing the next day I'm going to be breaking ground, laying foundations and footings, and that all the stuff is in place that I don't have to worry about now.
So I love that. I would love you to tweak it just a little bit. Instead of looking forward to how it's going to be on April 1st, as you write how awesome it was to put that shovel in the dirt and your foot on the shovel and you moving that aside and what that felt like when you actually ceremoniously broke ground on your own forever home where you would love to actually exist with your family. Like that was such an amazing feeling. Put the breeze in the air, put the sunshine, put the kids running around and the excitement and, this partnership that you and Denise feel. Write it as though you're looking back, not as though you're looking forward. Okay. That's one of the biggest things. Guys, the Book of Mormon, 2/3 of the Book of Mormon is people saying, I'm so grateful for this Christ who's come to redeem my soul. He hasn't been born yet. Father Lehi, I'm so grateful for my promised land. And I'm like, you're in the desert and your kids are trying to kill you, right? Like that's your reality. He's like, I'm so grateful for the promised land. He has gratitude in advance. It's actually a divine principle. The children of Israel, Leslie Householder talks about the children of Israel as they were going into the land of Gideon, are like, and the milk and honey is great, and the battle was awesome, and they have not fought yet. So as you're looking at these dreams and you're writing it as though it's already happened, there's a little voice that comes to say, who are you, pretty princess, to tell God how to fulfill your dreams? Like, you know, that's pretty presumptuous to say, hey, daddy, I want a pretty pony, right? But that's just a voice of the adversary. The reality is, as we create, we are learning to be creators. He wants to teach us how to do this so that we can dream and create spiritually before we actually physically manifest things. That is the work of this life. That is something we are supposed to gain and obtain. So to look back and go, wow, that was so amazing when you haven't even been there yet is a divine skill set that we are actually very rarely taught. So I'm going to leave you with that because I've got a class I got to teach right now at 11 for Joyful Heart. I will tell you this, those of you who want some more training, there's a couple of things. If you had a hard time connecting your emotions to this, Joyful Heart Mastery is the place for you to go to actually get some of that connection, okay? If you've already done it, it's really good to go back around again because the first time is like your brain kind of exploding with new ideas that you haven't thought about. And the second time you actually are able to, it's like special ops training at that point where you're just really good at it, okay? Genius boot camps, I've got one I'm probably gonna do a virtual in January. So if anybody's interested in doing virtual Genius boot camp, I usually do lives, but I'm thinking I'm gonna do a virtual. And then I've got a live one in St. George in February. And it is something to come and just be for 3 or 4 days. And it's 3 days and just really get your whole body vibrating with possibility and with the answers, okay? And then we also have something within Joyful Heart Mastery called the Creator's Mindset Training. So it takes what you've just done today and puts it into a way where you study each one of the laws of thought and do some activities with it. But you can take this 3-month thing and then have guided mentorship to get you to April. And so there's a couple of those classes as well. So when I post the replay, I will post the links to those events. If anybody would love some more information on those, please reach out to me via Messenger and I will get you all the information you need so that this training can go forward and that this isn't the end. But what I would really love to see is that you actually achieve on April 1st and we come together as a group and everybody reports back on what happened. That would be fun. Wouldn't that be fun to actually come back and say, hey, this is, because I got your list. We can do some check marks and go done, done, done. What are we going to do in the next 3 months? Okay. If you would like some individualized support with that, then I totally recommend you take one of the classes. Okay. That's it, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And read your statement that you just wrote. Read it, connect to the emotion of it, read it again, connect to the emotion of it, and get excited about what's on its way. All right?